We're gonna start with our standing exercises. Again, this is gonna be very gentle, so if you find yourself straining, really pushing or tightening up, try to ease out of it, maybe do less of a position, less strain, and maybe for a few seconds we'll take your body. What we're trying to do is move to your body's limits. So here, standing up nice and tall, we're gonna take your right leg, we're gonna sweep it forward, keeping your knee extended. At first, pulling the toes back towards your knee, and then pointing your toes, all while keeping your thigh nice and straight, keeping that knee extended. Bring that foot down. We're going to do the other side, sweeping the left leg up, standing on your right leg, pulling the toes back, keeping that knee extended. How tall can you stay through your spine? Pointing your toes, keeping it nice and straight through that leg. Bring that leg down. From here, we're going to bend your leg, keeping your thighs side by side. We're going to take the foot, sweeping it back, bending at the knee, taking it up as high as you can before you get any cramping. We're holding it here, standing up nice and tall. Try not to lean forward, down. We're trying to keep those thighs side by side. We're going to do the other side, sweeping that foot back, keep those thighs side by side. The leg that you take, the knee that you take up or flex and take the foot up, that thigh often likes to float forward. You want to keep them side by side. We're going to take that foot down. We're now going to move to our hip abduction. So we're going to start with our feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to hip hike onto one side, and we're going to let this leg adduct come to the other side. It's still up off the ground, and then we just take it back out to where it started. So it's a very small motion. We're going back to if we're doing that gingerbread man. Paying attention to what happens to your feet as you press that leg out, going with control, getting a good pause. From here, we're going to take it down. We're going to switch to the other side, bringing that leg together. The leg that's swinging stays up off the floor the entire time, which makes this other leg that you're standing on do more of a hip hike. Again, we're trying to just swing out, pause at this gingerbread man, and then let that leg adduct and then back out. We'll do one more. And down. March it out. We're going to do a couple things for your shoulders. So we have your palms facing, elbows bent. We're just going to take your elbows out to about 45 degrees and then back in. So we're just taking the arms out. Small little motions. We're not trying to go all the way up. This way we can isolate just your deltoid and that supraspinatus muscle. We're not having to get really involved with your neck and shoulder muscles into your back. From here, we're going to take your elbows back and elbows forward to parallel to the floor. So your elbows stay 90, take those elbows back, keep the elbows in, try not to let them go wide, and then bring them back up parallel. So very specific range, very small. Again, this allows us to isolate your rear delt as we bring that arm up. Palms facing each other, that's working the front of your deltoids, back and through. Swing those arms back up. Nice, smooth control. We're checking, do you get any crepitus, any snap, crackle, pops? When you move your arms, does one shoulder get a little tighter? Does your spine want to move forward as you take those arms back? When you go up, how does it feel? From here, we're going to take your elbows out wide, opening your chest, keeping your palms facing forward, fingertips up, opening up your chest, thinking about squeezing your back, your shoulder blades like they're elevator doors squeezing together. Bring those hands and elbows, forearms together. Squeeze together if you can. Then take them back out wide. Open up. Keep the fingertips pointing up versus allowing this stuff to rotate up. It's all staying up vertical as you take your elbows out wide. Bring your hands back together, elbows together, forearms. Squeeze together if you can. Also, just getting to wherever you feel comfortable is all right. Then take them back out. The stuff that you were just stretching is now squeezing and tightening together. And then bring those elbows, forearms, and hands back together. Again, if you can only go here, that's fine. Here we're stretching it out. Squeezing the stuff on the front of your chest. Now we're opening up the front of the chest, stretching the front of the chest, squeezing your back muscles. the areas that we're just stretching, and relax. Roll the shoulders out. All right, so from here, we're gonna do a couple little step backs where when we're gonna step back, we're gonna open, and we're stepping back forward. So we're just feeling, what does it feel like to open? We're keeping the same foot planted, and we're swinging open on this leg. And we're seeing, okay, how does that knee feel? You're trying to keep that foot flat. And then when you stand, when you're turned, you want your feet to almost look like they're, you know, the arch is lined up with your heel. So they're almost like creating like a little T. They're perpendicular. Now they're running next to each other. We're gonna do one more, and then we'll switch sides. So we're just seeing, how does your hips feel when you control this movement? It's an external hip rotation, and then we're actively doing hip internal to bring you back to neutral. So you can be aware of what are your adductor, your inner thigh muscles doing, especially when you come back in. Can you feel that they're helping rotate you back to where your feet are running next to each other? We'll do one more. All right, so now we're gonna do a couple little lunges as far as you feel comfortable lunging down. So we're gonna do step backs though. So we're gonna really work on stepping back, just going as low as you feel comfortable, go up and step right back up, and then we're gonna alternate. Just as low as you feel comfortable. If you want, you can go as low all the way to the ground, paying attention to how do your knees and hips feel. But we're switching which feet and which toes. When you step back, you keep that heel high to the ground, sky, only being on the ball of the foot. Your front foot is flat. We're gonna do one more each side. On this one, we're gonna lower all the way to the ground, and we're gonna be at the ground for the rest of the workout. We're gonna lie face down. We're gonna have one hand underneath your forehead and the other arm palm down along your side. You can pay attention to what your feet are doing. If you've got your tops of your feet on the floor, that's pushing your toes pointing more into plantar flexion. You can bring your tips of your toes up, which now will have my feet more dorsiflexed, puts less pressure into the back of my legs. Here what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift your arm, palm facing down, keeping your chin tucked. It's really easy to let that head to slightly extend. Holding here nice and steady. Relax that arm. Here we go, once again. Reach the fingertips towards your feet. Lift that hand high to the sky. Not as high as you can necessarily. Keep your chin tucked. It's easy to let that head to start extending. And relax. We'll switch arms, switch sides. So I'm just gonna turn around so you can see this. So I've got my hand underneath my forehead, my arm along my side, palm is out. Palm is facing down, thumb is out. Squeezing the back of my arm, opening the front of my shoulder. Keeping the chin tucked. It's easy to let that head start extending. And relax. Here we go, once again. Lift, reach the fingertips towards your feet. Back of the arm and hand towards the ceiling. And relax. All right, from here we're going to go arm up overhead, thumb towards the ceiling, out at the corner of the mat, so more of like a V position. Thumb high to the sky, we're lifting that arm up. If that's too much, then just unweight the arm. Holding it. And relax. We're gonna stick with that same side. Extend the elbow, thumb to the sky, lift up and hold. And relax. Okay, we're gonna switch. Switch to the other arm. Switch which hand is underneath your forehead, thumb to the sky, extend your arm, lift and hold. Again, if that's too much for lifting your arm, just keep it on the ground and tightening your muscles. And relax. You're getting any cramping through your rib cage, through your back. Here we go. We're going to lift up and hold once again. Keep your chin down. I have to put a lot of effort at keeping my chin tucked. My head just wants to go to this more relaxed position. And relax. Okay, now you can place both hands underneath your forehead so your elbows are out wide. We're going to go back to some hip movements. So we're going to bring your right leg. We're going to bend your knee. And we're going to bring the thigh out to the side. And we're going to do our little hip rotation. We're going to take this foot across towards the lower leg. And then we bring the foot back to neutral. Take the foot out, which is hip external. This time we're going to bring it back to this hip external position. Once it's there, we're going to lift the inner part of the knee and thigh towards the ceiling. It's just a very small movement. I'm not trying to move through my spine. And then relax, rotate back to neutral. Take that foot out, which is hip internal, back to neutral, back to external. Hold it external, lift the inner part of the thigh up. Drop down, rotate back out. Take that foot out, which is hip internal, back to neutral, foot across. We're going to do one more lift. And down, and relax. We'll switch sides, bend the leg, take it out to the side. We're going to do our rotation, holding the external, take it back to neutral, internal. Now once you're in this external, we're going to lift this inner part of that thigh and knee up off the floor, trying to keep your hips in contact. And relax, bring it back to neutral, internal, neutral, bring it back to this external, holding here, lift this inner part of the hip up, lifting that knee, a lot more challenging on this side. And relax. Rotate back to neutral, internal. We'll do one more external rotation and lift. So that, get to that external rotation, then just trying to lift that inner part of the knee and thigh up off the floor a small amount. And relax. All right, we're gonna go ahead and roll over on your backs. You're gonna keep your left leg bent, foot flat. Take your right leg out straight. You wanna keep your chin tucked. Your leg is gonna be out. You're gonna take it, slide it out to the corner of the mat. Let the toes and knee rotate out. And we're taking the inside part of your leg towards the ceiling. Your hips and pelvis want to usually rotate to the direction your feet are pointing. Bless you, excuse me. Lift your foot up one leg at a time, keeping this inside part of the ankle towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Holding it here nice and steady, exploring how does that feel into your low back. We're going to lower that leg. You're going to rotate the leg back in. Let it rotate back out. Lift up. Lift up and hold. Again, just as high as you can before that low back wants to flatten. Trying to see how high can you lift that leg. Kind of keep your chin tucked. Because again, as you lift, that whole body likes to extend to counterbalance. But keep your core tight. Lower that leg. Rotate that leg and foot back in. We're going to switch sides, so bring that leg in. Bend your knee. Take your left leg out, extending. Take your left leg out to the side. Rotate the heel out. Lift this foot high to the sky. How high can you lift before that low back wants to start to flatten? Keeping your pelvis nice and level. And relax. We're going to do that once again. Lift up and hold. Holding it nice and steady. Scanning the body. Can you shift positions to maintain and make sure that contact points are even? So one of the advantages of doing isometrics, allows you to scan your body, see if everything's doing what they should be, and relax. Bring your hands to your thighs. We're gonna do a couple of roll-ups where we're going to roll your neck and chin into your chest, roll through your spine, trying to reach those hands to the top of your knee, and then roll back down, one vertebrae at a time. Again, roll, tuck that chin in, roll the top of your upper vertebrae into your low back. And relax. Here we go, once again. Tuck, roll, squeeze up. Slow and controlled. Here we go. Roll that chin. If this is as far as you can go, that's okay. Otherwise, continue to make your muscles contract a little bit harder. Tuck that chin. Now, we're going to take your right hand over to your top of your right thigh, or left thigh, and your left hand's on the outer part. So both hands are touching the same leg. We're going to do the same thing. You're rolling up. Now there's just going to be a slight rotation. And then back down. Here we go. Roll. And down. Now we're going to do to the other side. We're going to do two. We're going to take the right hand to the outside of the right thigh, left hand on top. Tuck that chin. Roll. And back down. We're purposefully squeezing this right side of your abdominals just a little bit more, putting a little bit more pressure into that side of your spine, seeing how your body reacts. All right, now we're going to move to side lying. You're going to take your arm and rest it on your head onto your upper arm, resting. You can have your arm slightly in front or out to the side, noticing that that's going to put different amount of pressure into your shoulder. What we're going to do is we're going to lift your top leg. We're going to hold it. When holding it, we're going to rotate the toes and knee up. As you do that, don't allow your body to roll backwards. Then rotate back to neutral, and then toes and knee inward. Again, not allowing the body to roll forward. Back to neutral. Point the toes and knee up. Back to neutral. Down. Back to neutral. We're going to do one more each position. Rotating up. Back to neutral, and down. And relax, we'll switch sides. So we lift the top leg, we hold it in neutral, rotate the toes and knee up, back to neutral, rotate them down, neutral, toes and knee up, not allowing your body to roll backwards. Back to neutral. Toes and knee in. Back to neutral. We're going to do one more each position. Fully externally rotating as much as you can. Toes and knee up. Back to neutral. Toes and knee in. Alright, roll to your back once again. Your left leg's out straight. Your right foot's going to go onto your thigh. We're going to let this knee and hip fall out to the side. And your edge of your foot is on your thigh, and then you're going to bring your knee and thigh up to the ceiling, which is the bottom of your foot is touching your thigh. We're holding here. So again, I let that knee and thigh fall out to the side, the bottom edge of my foot, the edge of the foot is touching and the bottom is pointing across, and then I bring my knee and thigh up, bottom of the foot touches the thigh, hold here, everything's squeezing together. Let it fall back out. Good control, not allowing any of this motion to happen. We're going to do two more. Bring that foot back to flat, knee up. Everything squeeze into the middle. Let it fall back out to the side. Back up to the middle. We're going to switch. Bring that foot down. Extend that leg. Bring the other foot to your thigh. We're letting that knee and hip fall out to the side. That thigh, outer edge of the foot is on the thigh now. Then as you bring that knee back up, bottom of the foot touches the knee and thigh. Everything squeezes together. Back out. Do you get any pain or discomfort? This out is a little bit tighter on this side. I'm going to bring my knee and thigh back up. out to the side with control. Trying to do this with smooth speed, not rushing through it. Back up. We're gonna do one more. Back out. And up and squeeze. Again, trying to get the bottom of the foot to the thigh, knee up nice and tall, and relax. Okay, we're gonna do a couple of hip bridges where your feet are wide. We're gonna push your hips to the sky, rolling up. Roll down one vertebrae at a time. Once you're down, let your back arch. Roll, flatten your back. Roll your hips up, back up off the floor. So now we're trying to go the lower body, trying to roll up off the floor as you hip extend, letting one vertebrae from your mid back to low back touch, then let your low back arch. We're gonna flatten your back, continue to roll the lower vertebrae off one at a time, rolling up off the floor, lifting your hips high to the sky, back down, rolling through your spine, showing it how to go to that extension, seeing how well does your low back muscles handle that. Can your spine and your vertebrae handle going to that extension? Flatten your back, roll up, and down, arch your back. We're gonna flatten, this time keeping your back flat. We're gonna bring your feet up as if you were putting them on an imaginary chair. We're holding them here as if they're on this imaginary chair. They're keeping space between your thighs, actively holding this position. You're keeping your back flat. Holding this firm, tighten up. You're just maintaining this position. And then lower one foot at a time. We're gonna go back doing the same thing. Bring the feet up, one leg at a time. Hold it nice and steady. Keep your chin tucked. It's easy to let that head start extending. That's like keep your chin tucked with your head back down. And lower your feet one leg at a time. We're gonna bring your hands up to the sky, fingertips high. We're gonna go one arm at a time, up overhead. This is gonna allow you to move with greater motion, greater mobility, and then one arm at a time. So one stays up, one goes back. You're just going to your body's limits. Where does it get tight? Again, the opposite hand is staying directly pointing up towards the ceiling. Try not to let that arm move as the other one goes up overhead. It's one arm tighter than the other. One have more pressure or tightness. Last one. Good, slow control. And relax. Okay, we're gonna bring your right leg up. We're gonna extend through your thigh, really working on trying to actively straighten this leg as much as you can. If that's easy for you and you want to challenge your body, you can straighten out the other leg. If you have really tight hamstrings and low back, it's probably easier to keep your leg bent. But again, if it's easy and you want more of a challenge, go ahead and extend your left leg while keeping this right leg extended up off the ground. We're gonna lower that leg all the way to the ground. Now we're gonna switch the legs. Bring the left leg up, extend through the thigh, through the knee. Again, if this is easy, then you can start to extend the other leg out. If you have tightness in the back of the legs, the hamstrings will stay right there. Try to extend the knee as much as you can. Keep that pelvis nice and stable. Keep that leg extended. We're gonna lower to the ground. Now we're gonna do a couple little side crunches. So our feet are flat, our feet are a little bit wider. We're gonna lift up, and we're gonna reach towards the left heel and back to the middle. Reach towards the right heel, back to the middle, and down. We're gonna crunch up. We'll go to the opposite side first, so this time to the right, to the left, and down. Crunch up, to the left, to the right. My hands just slide on the floor, and down. We're going last time. Up, to the right, to the left, and down. All right, so if you want, we can go ahead and sit up. You can stay lying down as well. I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to block my right nostril, and we're going to do a couple exhales into your, breathing through your left nostril with your right nostril blocked. So all right, we're going to go and inhale, pause, exhale, inhale, pause, exhale, inhale, pause, exhale, inhale, pause, exhale. So this is usually a good time to thank yourself and thanking your life for allowing you to follow through with plans that you've made to join your workout today, doing something good for your body. Hopefully also becoming a little bit more aware of some sensations that you have while doing this workout than maybe what you were aware of before we started. So